Public Schools. The state of Michigan has made many efforts to resurrect the Detroit school system, but has not been enough to revitalize the failed system.
"200 public schools closed around the Detroit area by 2013. 75 abandoned public schools have been put on sale in the area of Detroit. Schools that once thrived are now filled with shattered windows and falling roofs. All these buildings are abandoned and left with no one in them when they could be places of education." Teachers. Lamar Lemons, the president of the Detroit Public School Board, claims, "And then to put a teacher, in many cases an inexperienced Teach for America teacher, who doesn't understand the urban child, or any child for that matter, since they have very little experience, but they're the cheapest to put in front of these children. In other words, some teachers are very unqualified for their job, yet since they are the cheapest, they are hired by the city."
By the end of 2012, only 7% of students in Detroit were grade level proficient or better in reading. Also, very little improvement is shown as in 2002, just as in 2011, according to the U.S. Department of Education, only 32% of Michigan public school 8th graders scored proficient or better in reading, which means between 2002 and 2011, there was absolutely no turnaround or change in the public school system. Also, on the MMEs, between 2011 and 2012, as you can see on this table, the scores fell drastically.
However, there are positive aspects to the struggle that Detroit Public Schools has been enduring. After 5 years, the Michigan Department of Education took the DPS system off the high-risk status list, meaning that they were no longer considered financially at risk. Reusage of empty properties. Although there are over 200 schools on the closure list due to the financial instability, and 79 of those schools are in the downtown area, there's a bright side to these empty properties. New life has been breathed into these new vacant buildings, and although they're not returning to their school status, people are moving back into the properties. Movie theaters, substance abuse centers, churches, and housing are just a few of the uses citizens of Detroit have found for this new vacant property, proving that even closing down cannot stop these places of education from educating the people of Detroit, even if it's just through culture.
Alright, the Michigan government has imported a new educational system to enhance schools, the Educational Administrative Authority, and this is a video from WXYZ News that depicts one of these schools.
These are the faces of the school children of Southwest Detroit, engaged in a new and different public school.
Table C is on task. Table D is on task.
And we have had, since September to now, 30% growth. And that's with our students that were below average.
Inside the classroom, the focus is now on student-centered learning. It's the curriculum model in place here and at 14 other schools that are part of the new state-run Education Achievement Authority. The approach allows students from different backgrounds and cultures to learn at their own pace.
Hi. Hola, ¿cómo está?
As a DPS school, principals came and went in Phoenix with a new face every year for a dozen years. In that long line of school leaders, Alex Cintron was number 12, but it's his desire to stay. This year, as an EAA school, he's hired teachers who share his passion.
It's part of my dreams.
Across the country, now change others here in Detroit. This is
Okay, so The EAA is basically a administration that takes over schools and helps them focus on making these young students better students.
Key to success. If Detroit is going to truly make a comeback and return to the bustling city it once was, a reliable public school system is vital. The most successful public school systems reside in cities that are also quite economically successful. Rochelle Riley, a Detroit Free Press columnist, says the most important aspect of Detroit that needs to be fixed is its school system. The link will show you a direct correlation between cities with not very high populations, yet very stable economies, residing on the top 10 public schools list.
So our thesis is Detroit has made strides in order to improve its public school education, but has not been enough to return it to its previous glory. By Louis and Raghav. Thank you.